confidence. It'll get you far.
Well, let's see how confident they're doing today, because they're going to join us on our face-off. Should be Greg and Zone joining us. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, welcome.
All right, guys, so we've already been, we've mentioned it a couple times. Last time you guys played, it was a 5-4 scoreline in favor of F7 back in the Silver League Finals. I want to ask both of you guys, 5-3? I thought that was an overtime match. 5-3 regulation? Okay, I stand corrected. What's going to be different this time? We'll start with you, Zoned. What's going to be different? Better in your favor, worse in your favor?
I don't know. I'm hoping for a win. I think we're gonna pull out a win. But I mean, TT6 is much improved from they were before. We're much improved. I wouldn't put it past them to get some rounds of us. But I'm feeling pretty good about it. These guys are a good team. We played against them, so I'm feeling good.
All right. And Greg, I guess people are kind of voting against you guys right now. What do you have to say to that?
People can vote for whoever they want. We're going to go in. We're going to do our best. We're going to come out with the score we get. That's how it's gonna be. No memes tonight. I'm all business.
Okay. So, but I still want to hear your answer. What do you think is going to be different this time? Do you think you guys can pull a win over F7?
I think that we can pull a win. We've been working pretty hard. We've been putting the time in. We've got some strong players, some strong callers, some strong strats. We're gonna do our best, and hopefully that'll be good enough.
All right, guys. Well, we're ready to get into the action where we keep this nice and short and sweet and straight to the point. So, Zone, any final thoughts for TT6 and Greg?
No matter what happens, good luck, guys. You guys are the team we came through silver with. So, I mean, good luck to both of you guys. Have fun.
All right, Greg. Any final thoughts for Zone and F7?
Good luck and have a good night, man.
All right, we'll see you guys in the battlefield in just a minute.
GLHF, guys. All right. So, with that one,
a lot of respect between both these teams.
Well, the thing is they know each other. You and I both were involved a little bit in the Silver League last season, so we got to see them play quite a bit and got to interact with both of these teams. I think after hearing what both had to say, it was about expected. Maybe a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
I'm used to Greg being a little bit more energetic, but
I think Greg's kind of feeling the pressure a little bit just in terms of they know they need a result tonight. This is going to be one of their teams that's going to be in that middle area of the table, and to get themselves off the bottom end to really catapult themselves into like a playoff position, they need to pick up some points tonight versus F7.
Yeah, and this is one of those matches that when we get to the end of the season, you'll sit there and go, oh, if only we'd won earlier, we'd have been fine.
Yeah, I know F7 definitely had that sentiment, or not F7, 07 definitely had that sentiment last season.
You're right.
They were really close at the end, but just ended up with a bad seed. So, some of these teams, looking at it, it's such a close match, but for some reason, I feel like F7 just have played a little bit stronger so far this season in their first couple of matches.
I don't disagree with that. I think that I agree there. There's just something about when I've watched both teams that doesn't give away some special aspect about their gameplay, their strategies, their players individually that says one of them is absolutely going to win over the other. You know what I mean? Because that's what I look for. When you see Elevate, you see these very, very crisp moves a lot of the time, and you can notice it's almost like a tell.
Right.
It's like you can tell when someone's a professional, and you can tell when someone's trying to figure it out. Like when someone's pretty good at the game, but maybe they don't have a perfect understanding of how to navigate a situation.
They're still trying to make that jump to the next level.
Exactly, and you can kind of see it. It's very, very subtle, and I think it has a lot to do with just being able to play at a high level in those competitive matches time and time again.
Now, the one map that did stick out to me in the map pool was Sand River. We talked about it. Now, TT6 in the first match day, they had a couple rounds on it, and their strats were pretty easily picked apart by Elevate. Now, to be fair, Elevate pick apart pretty much everyone's strats, so it's kind of hard to read into that a whole lot. However, Danger Close, F7 have played it twice, and they've looked pretty strong on it outside of that one game on the last match day where they already got picked off early on.
Yes. But
just looking at that, if they can...
I see where you're going. The thing is, it's still Sand River, right? It's so early in the season. People are developing the meta. We heard Comps mention that the other day. So yeah, we've seen one team perform poorly on that map, and we've seen one perform well. But that's only a very small number of results, right?
Right. Well, everything to this point in the season, all the maps, there are a couple teams that have 100% records on them, but that's with, 4 rounds played on the map on the season. So you can't really read a whole lot into it at this point. Now, as we get ready for the first map, it is going to be Mine. So we are going to have the map pick or tank picks come in right now live. There's about 20 seconds left for them to ready up what they want. Do you notice anything this just sticks out to you as odd on this?
Well, first of all, I think we should mention the pattern being chosen by Teal Team 6. I don't think it's a bad choice, but we probably need to go over that one. I don't think I've seen a pattern in the past few days on this map, unless I'm mistaken. Combining that with a TVP is the other thing.
We've seen it used a couple of times more on Sand River. It has really good view range. The gun has a very high shell velocity. And the turret armor did recently get buffed, so it's a little bit more viable on some of these maps with some hills. However, seeing it on mines kind of begs some questions. Maybe in the same spot where we saw Spirit Walker play the E5 the other day up on the hill, let it use the gun depression and turret armor.
I'll be sure to show everyone out there watching if we see that position. But that's what I was also thinking at first. Was probably somewhere on the high ground where spotting is important.
Yep, and then the double E4 and Type 5 setup coming out of F7, nothing too surprising there. The PZ7 once again making an appearance. So far, we've pretty much only seen the PZ7 on this map, so it seems to be one of those tanks that just fits into that position just perfectly, and that's pretty much the only reason they want to seem to bring it. We are going to start off with zoned in the bush right there. He will spot a one-line cross, however, he hasn't quite figured out that that is not going to come. They are taking the hill in force. All 7 of their tanks right now for Teal Team 6 are rolling straight towards it.
Yep, there we go. Spotted, Supernova, Bananas, and Bloop on their way up. Chase Potato is just right there in the middle, holding a strong position. This is good. But look at this. Teal Team's gonna... Are they going to approach, still going up to the hill?
Yeah, they're actually sending Viral around over towards that 9 line. So definitely keep an eye on him. I expect what we'll see him do is he'll get over towards that 0 pocket at D0 and start to try to back off maybe that Type 5. And if he can do that, then maybe they can get a tank up on the 0 line boost.
Maybe so. But look at, there are tanks actually covering that approach, kind of watching that direction. You've got Knight out on the east side of the map, get clicked behind him. Well, there's still Teal Team 6 and F7 kind of playing with each other in the middle of the map. Not quite engaging. And actually, Viral is going to be spotted. And actually, real quick, James, I believe there is... We may have disconnected.
Is that disconnect on us, or is that disconnect on the match itself? Was it?
Yeah.
We'll find out for you guys in just a second.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, we may be just about getting a disconnect call, and we're going to head back to the desk for a moment. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Rock's going to have to back out back to garage, sir.
Looks like that was a disconnect call to start the night, which is a little bit unfortunate.
Hey, they happen from time to time. Usually there's a test battle run before the battle that you get to see on camera, and that's to make sure that the modifications and all of that we've added to the game in order to make our UI, our beautiful UI work, making sure that they're in order. And occasionally, sometimes, people will have a little bit of trouble if they've just installed. And so we run through a battle just to make sure things are good. Otherwise, I guess someone might have had some internet issues or whatever. Normally what happens is within the first 30 seconds of a battle, or until tanks are spotted or damage is dealt, you can call a disconnect, meaning if one of your players were to just simply drop out of the battle accidentally, or rather like their internet goes down something, or a hurricane shows up, you know, things like that, you know, any given day, your team can call a disconnect, which is just, okay, this one little thing happened, we'll back out of the battle, we'll restart this up, and we'll just go again.
However, the second a tank is spotted,
can't do that.
And it's a disconnect. So apparently, I just did check. The disconnect was called before anything had actually happened. It just took a second to get relayed to the players and the observers.
Yeah, it's the trickiest kind of thing. Like the problem with a disconnect is it has to be called, verified, communicated to the players, and then all of that has to go back up through a rung to us. So there's sometimes a little bit of a lag in there. So if you just see that happen, it's just the way things are. They have to try and get the next battle going very, very quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it looks like they are ready to put us back into battle any second now. So we'll be back underway.
Yeah, same
now,
tanks,
same,
by the way.
They cannot change tanks. They have to keep with the same lineup they went in there for. Well, we're waiting for this to start. The lineups that they brought.
Yeah, you want to get back onto that pattern?
So the pattern is kind of interesting for me just in terms of it fits into that same kind of category that the E5 does. It's a jack of all trades, master of none. It's not the most mobile of the mediums. Its guns, DPM is decent. It is the one thing I will give it is it has a very high shell velocity, so shooting at range is easy.
I was about to say that. I was about to be like, the shell velocity is a huge factor because firing at range, it does matter. And your drop-off on those shells is way more forgiving than perhaps on a bat chat.
Yeah, but the other thing to keep an eye on, though, is it's going to be on mines. Mines is not a map that shoots where you have to shoot at great distances.
The only thing I can think of, like, is maybe from that center hill position to the west side, on like southwest, maybe.
Maybe it's more of a spotting thing on the one line?
It's got to be a spotting thing, because...
It has the 410 spotting range base, which is the only tanks that have higher than that are the new light tanks. But when you bring a light tank, you sacrifice a gun. So maybe this is the compromise to bringing a tank that has a gun and the DPM to keep up in a fight if it needs to, but also has that view range.
Very often the choice to bring a scout tank on a map like Mines versus perhaps a medium, usually the reason people choose one or the other is because, okay, does a light tank actually serve a purpose that a medium tank cannot? For example, look at bat chats. They're used all the time in place of a scout. They're a medium tank and they don't get those same camo advantages.
Right.
But they're still used because they're just nimble enough. They have way more firepower and hit points. And, well, if you consider armor a factor, I guess, but it's still a bat chat. And I guess that's what you end up deciding is like, okay, bring the M48 because we don't need a highly mobile light tank zipping around the battlefield that's going to get deleted the second it runs into those E4s.
Right.
When you know those E4s and the Type 5 even are there, actually almost every tank on the side of F7, just because that's there, you know a light tank really isn't going to be that potent. You need to go with a medium.
Well, and even the bat shot can just clip it out, 2 or 3 shots and the light tank's going to go down typically. Depending on the stage of the battle and if it's taken damage already. Now, looking at this setup, it appears F7 are running what we consider pretty much, vanilla or very standard defense at this point. Do you think F7 have it in them to break this defense?
Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see. As Supernova does look like he just made his way up onto the top of the hill, so slightly different series of events this time. Chase Potato still at the middle. Bananas and Emu still find him. But in this case, we've got a medium tank that's made it to the hill and 2 heavies that have had the experience of, well, seeing Chase there. And we've got Viral already heading east. It's important to note. Zoned is also in the bush that we saw him before, passive AFK. Well, not AFK, but passive. He's looking towards the west to spot Cap, make sure no one's crossing, and
the bigger one there is just the one-line cross at G1, just make sure they don't get any tanks down into the south and they know about it ahead of time. You'll see this happen so often. You can't play the hill entrance, especially where Chase Potato is now, if the other team has control of the one line. There's just too many angles onto that position at F5. So you have to know at the very least if they've taken the one line so you know to back off and not take unnecessary damage or even lose a tank as an HE shell comes out there into the gun mantlet of Chase Potato.
9 damage is 9 damage. Take what you can get.
Death by paper cuts is still death by paper cuts.
Exactly. And we'll just see this kind of stalemate for a little while, I expect. Well, I guess what is the rest of Teal Team 6 going to go for is the big question. Are they going to push her out on the west side? Are they going to actually, look at that mouse moving actually.
Yeah, we have Viral still over at that D0 pocket, the same one he was going to last time. Maybe try to make that Type 5 back off from shooting the boost. But we're also going to see the mouse start flexing over towards the 8 line now, maybe hug the inside of that mountain. However, what he's going to find out very quickly is that there's 2 E4s sitting in the base of F7, and those E4s will deal with that mouse armor very, very easily.
Very easily. So, as that mouse gets into position, he is currently in Delta 7. You're going to see 2 tanks, Bananas in the wall host, and Zombie Food are going to be moving out to the west side, it looks like. Zombie's actually in a defensive position, kind of just watching the West Islands right now. And from here he's, oh, there he is, covering Bananas. Bananas is spotted. That's probably by Halo, as this will kind of either be a feint to F7 to see if they react, or if this will just be kind of 2 flanks. As we can see right now on the west side of the map, you've got a number of tanks stacked up. The Love Hitman, Bloop.
Yeah, so they're sitting here, and maybe they'll try to use the pattern to spot down the 8 line, spot that E4 ahead of time, make them back off, but I think there's just better choices than the pattern. However, with its current state after the buff, its turret armor is nothing to be scoffed at. Bounces way more shells than it should, in my opinion. But
Supernova's getting off the hill, by the way. He's going to be
in the background, but so far it doesn't look like they're leaving anyone on the hill to spot anything, which I prefer personally to see one tank up there just to hold the different off angles in this base and try to, you know, they can punish them. We've seen TVPs, for example, in the first match day really pump out some damage when the push happens, because the turrets have to turn to deal with the push, and they often leave their side exposed to the hill. So pulling all the tanks off the hill to put it into the push, in my opinion, could be a little bit risky.
Yeah, but look at this. Teal Team 6 is planning something, because the way they've got Emus and Supernova kind of hidden, it looks like they're getting ready to do kind of a late jump, something down the 4 line. If they're discovered, that kind of ruins the play for them, but it looks like Teal Team 6 is able to keep that under wraps. And this is the move. Here we go. Love Hitman moves forward, Bloop right behind him. They have Knight spotted. They know they can probably get an opening shell. Knight exposes himself, takes a hit. Bloop looks for the shot, not finding anything.
Bale on the E4 is turning around. He should find a shot rather quickly onto the Love Hitman, as the mouse is just going to hold down that W key and keep pushing around that corner, as the tanks are going to try to back off a little bit.
There, he's spotted. Vale is spotted. Shot goes out. Ooh, and nice shot. Vale goes for Bloop instead of the mouse. Trying to get the M48 out a little quicker, but 309 back into Vale. As this aggression continues, we're going to actually see probably a fight starting up in the middle of the map.
They're actually going to take the overmatch into the hill. Supernova looks like he's going to be the first one that's going to get caught out, as Knight's just going to pull forward. HE shell going into Supernova.
Nice focus. They just need to get one more in Super. There we go. That's perfect. F7 needs to keep going forward, take on Emus so that they're not surrounded, and that will work. Ah, Emus drops down. That's perfect. Now F7 can turn it around, focus on Viral and the Love Hitman, take this one apart.
And this is going to leave Teal Team 6 in a very awkward situation, because look at this crossfire between the E4s, the PZ7, and now the tanks on the hill, which F7 so easily took from them, is going to be able to really chew through these big, heavy, slow tanks like the mouse from Teal Team 6.
Yep, Bananas in the wall to the wall host out in the west side of the map has gotten into position, but I feel like that's way too late right now, and he's almost irrelevant. Everyone from F7 is ignoring that target, recognizing he's out of position, unable to support. Emus comes down from the low ground. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to support well enough, as the Love Hitman and Zombie Food should be getting taken apart momentarily. There we go. Halo gets the kill, leaving Zombie Food completely stranded. Zombie does get Spirit Walker. Nicely played there from him. He's got the damage.
Now he's going to back up, and the PZ7's already waiting for him, as is the other E4. And the E4 of Vale is going to put a nice big shot into Zombie before he ends up taking him down, but then Halo is going to come around and get the kill shot onto Zombie.
There we go. Emus out in the open, takes one more for 5:24. And this is going to be over fairly shortly. Just a few more shells and that'll do it.
I like what I saw there out of F7. They recognized the push coming out of the 8 line. They figured out where they could create an overmatch. A little bit risky, but they got the Batchat, the 113, the Type 5, and one other tank, which I didn't see who it was, Chase Potato in the 5A. They got all 4 of those tanks over onto the hill entrance, where there was only a couple tanks for Teal Team 6, and once Supernova went down, the 5A just had no choice but to back off into the water. And once they had given up the high ground, the hill, that push over on the 8-9 line was extremely vulnerable, and you saw how quickly it fell.
Yeah. F7 also, they just handled themselves fairly well. You saw the response in the middle was perfect. Decided to push forward, and once they got Emus to drop out and go to a low ground, they just turned around and focused on the tanks left behind.
I would say their push on the hill was sufficient. It was still a little bit slow for my liking. Took a second to kind of figure out what was going on.
Fair enough there.
And it was compiled with the fact that Teal Team 6 brought a mouse. You know, mouse isn't exactly the fastest tank. It's kind of easy to run away from. However, it was sufficient enough to get them the win. Now, something that I was going to talk about in game before that push happened was, once again, passive defenses. And I am not a big, like, it's no secret that I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, but Mines of all maps, right? Yep. Of all maps with a passive defense that is proven. And the thing that makes it effective is being able to react. What we saw from F7 was what you're supposed to do with that quote-unquote passive defense, is you see a weakness or a counterplay, because your opponent's going to have to come down any of a number of 3 very dangerous routes to get to you. You've got enough time to see what's going on, assess the situation, and react.
Yeah, but where I'm going with this is you are giving yourself essentially a fixed time to react, and you're waiting for your opponent to make the play. You're not doing anything proactive. You're not going out and getting those lights. So kind of looking at that, it's just something to keep in mind in the back of your head as we move on to as these teams switch sides. Now, we do have the damage numbers from the last game. Vale in the E4, 4,300, 100 fantasy points. Chase Potato putting up another 70. Zombie Food, top player for Teal Team 6. And then it drops off pretty consistently after there. Get clicked on, only getting 1,500 in that Type 5.
There we go. Across the board. Yeah, Bloop and the Patton didn't really get to do much.
Well, and he was also, I never really saw, we were talking about, I never really saw what that tank was meant for, past just being there. It was behind the mouse, so it kind of was pushed into the brawl late. It didn't really spot the E4s or do anything useful over there. I just kind of felt like there could have been a stronger tank put into that role.
There absolutely could have. I agree. The Patton in no way was utilized to any of its strengths. It didn't get an opportunity to.
You know, it's just like the PZ7. If there is a role that you know that the tank can play and play it very well, it's like designed for it, then bring it, use it. But like the way this Patton was brought, it just nothing ever materialized. So maybe it was something that they wanted to do, but they didn't this game. They changed up their game plans, and there was never anything where it really shined, I guess,
yeah,
the biggest thing.
That's probably what happened. I always just sit there and go, oh, it was probably just they wanted to put the Patton on the hill, but when they discovered a tank in the middle blocking, they realized the Patton's not fast enough to get up there. So why do that still and waste the hit points and whatnot?
Yep. Now we're going to go on to battle number 2. Teams will switch sides. It is F7 having to attack now. 2 mice, 5A, 3 Batchats, and a Panzer Wagen themselves over on Teal Team 6. Nice 7, 2 5As, 2 Batchats, an E4, and their own Rheinmetall Panzerwagen played by Viral.
I guess, is this Mountain Goat time?
That would be my guess. That's the only reason why you'd bring the PZ7 on this map is to do those climbs. It has the gun depression to where it can get up on those climbs when it needs to. And we're actually going to see Viral go for one right out of the start here. So he's going to get up here, and it looks like he's going to get to the rocks and get safe. Back up.
And almost making it through the second one. And opening run from Knight is looking to try and
But he's spotted now. Now if the guns are in position to get shots off, he takes one shot as he dives into the rock, and now he's kind of stuck in an awkward place, and I don't think he'll be able to leave anytime soon.
He may not. That's the tricky thing about this, is Knight was able to get the spotting, but now we're waiting to see if Halo or perhaps Spirit Walker or someone like that is able to keep him pinned down. And Viral will be pinned there for a bit, but in the meantime, oh, look at this. Look at Supernova, and look at, let's see, Supernova.
We saw this out of Elevate the other day, getting aggressive on the one line early on.
This is a nice position. From here, if he can get himself to the northwest, he can really mess with the positions of F7. If he does that, if he does it too soon, I'm expecting he'll go down in some kind of a trade.
Yeah, we're actually going to have the mouses pushing out and around on the 8 line now, but they're, instead of bringing a mouse and a Patton like Teal Team 6 did last game, they're bringing double mice, so bringing, you know, 6,000 HP and a ton of armor to really work that 8 line.
And look at this. At the same time right now, Supernova is going to be getting into position in a bush, going passive. And from here, you can actually watch any action that F7 brings to the west side of the map. And because of that process of elimination, Teal Team 6 might understand that the push should be coming on the east side of the map. And you can see tanks shifting to accommodate that already. Zombie Food will need to get out of that southwest position, move east, and we'll see how that stacks up.
Yeah, these tanks are getting in position here. Knight is the only tank on the hill for F7 just to prox light
Chase Potato spotted.
all those tanks.
Chase gets spotted, crossing. That's huge. That's a huge tell right now. That'll give Teal Team 6 the time to do anything about adjusting their defenses. I hope Emus moves over into perhaps Juliet's 7. And Zombie, I hope he moves back west, or back east. Without that, rocks.
I don't quite think that F7 are completely convinced this is where the push is going to come up from, because Supernova is still, or yeah, Teal Team 6, they're still sitting over there in F2, and Supernova's sitting in a passive bush right now. And there's a little bush in the middle of that riverbed that can spot the north, so maybe looking for a late rotate towards the one line?
Yeah, well, Teal Team 6, I don't know, man. It seems obvious from the information that Teal Team 6 has. it's a pretty strong tell. They may not depend on it entirely, right? But they have a good idea of where the opponent is right now, where they're looking to pressure. They know there's something going on east side, or at least hillside. And there's not enough spotting happening on the hill itself to say that there's pressure coming from the middle. And almost no team would actually risk pushing right down the middle of the map. So generally you can leave it almost entirely open. You know, just cover it lightly and you're fine.
Yeah, and Viral actually does leave that 0 line climb. He's going to rotate out.
The position's kind of exposed and not super flexible. Why put a light tank in a locked spot, right?
Exactly. And now Vale's actually going to rotate back towards the hill in the mouth, to the hill entrance. Maybe an extra gun to punish the cross there. As Viral's going to get all the way out to the 1 line, we may see him push down the 1 line and get out in front of the Bat Chats, where he won't be as boxed in as he was on that 0 line climb.
Makes a lot of sense. With that, you'll be able to rotate Zombie and Nova out, leave the scout on the west, and be able to deal with that push.
Part of it, though, is the timing. If this close from F7 comes out pretty quickly, that could be 3 guns that are going to be out of the fight for, you know, the first 20, 30 seconds of this engagement.
I think Teal Team 6 might be banking on that, banking on the fact that F7 will hesitate, or rather not feel rushed to put some aggression on. And because of that, they can take their time and try and whittle them down.
And Greg takes an HE shell to the turret.
Look at that, Vale moving down the middle. Teal Team 6, like we were saying before, it seems like it's a dumb idea or that it's impossible to go right up the middle, but that's what Vale's going to do. And as he's in position, he's going to start putting fire, spotting various other tanks. He's taking a little bit himself, but needs to find a defensible holding spot. And this is the push, F7, moving forward. You've got Halo, Potato, together with Spirit, and then Get Clicked is also pushing up. The response from Zombie Food and Supernova as well. There goes Greg. Nice focus fire. Halo should go down in response on F7 side, but the focus fire is not quite there as much as it is for our blue team. Although, looking at the hit points now, I think that tells a slightly different story. As Vale goes down, Get Clicked goes down. Bananas up top with backup. I mean, this is pretty solid right here. All right, Halo.
Nice shot there from the 5A banana on the wall to take down Halo.
All right. Zombies on the high ground. F7's been torn apart position-wise. Teal Team 6 has every advantage, and F7 does not look like they've got anything left. I have to give it, F7 went for the play in itself wasn't bad, but everything else was lacking. They needed to provide more misinformation for Teal Team 6, because as we can see, Teal Team 6 was ready for this. Yeah,
they didn't do anything to throw them off, to make them, you know, feel that their defense was inadequate. I actually do like the play there from Teal Team 6 to get the Panzerwagen off the 0 line, get him over into the passive bush, and then once he was there, you know, I made the comment about the Batchats being out of there. He was able to flex out and get them back to support this 8-9 line side where they felt that push was going to come from, and they were able to retake the hill very quickly and end up taking down Vale.
There we go. Knight goes down to Viral. As Viral shows up to save the day. Supernova leaves the hill, and Zoned is the last tank alive. He's got 1 shell. He's looking for a shot onto Viral. He realizes it's time to run away, and his Spidey sense activates. Tells him that it's an I-7 there, but too late. And Viral gets the final kill. Okay, that ties it up 1-1.
Yeah, no, about what you expected out of that. That defense has been pretty hard to crack. Even though I don't like passive defense, it certainly has been working. So you can't exactly knock them for doing it. Yeah. And Teal Team 6, they ran it their own way. They didn't bring the PZ7. They had a few changes to it, but they understood their rotations and they made it work. Especially like I was mentioning, the the Panzerwagen going over towards the 2 line, getting in the passive bush. The Batchats were able to then be freed up and get closer to the fight. So when that push did come out from F7, they were ready for it. They were in position. They got their guns quickly on target, and they knocked down that push rather decisively.
Yeah, and to the point about a passive defense, I think we can actually point out a few things Teal Team 6 did that were somewhat active. Going on this jump, I think, counts as a first active move. It's something actually you're trying to get somewhere, right? You're trying to make something happen with that, and you do have some flexibility. On the west side of the map, Teal Team 6 did actually bring the Batchat up far to actually spot into the northwest after recognizing that there was possibly something to be done. and then they moved things around. So as far as Mines goes on defense, that was about as mobile as you're going to get without doing things that are foolish or even reckless.
Right, and Zombie Food's actually going to be the top damage dealer there in that bat chat. So the two bat chats that I didn't like being out of position on the one line and getting into the fight quickly, both being effective, 6K between the two of them. And then Banana the wall host in that 5A did what he could in a short amount of time. The left hitman and Emus also doing what they could. Left hitman did get caught out eventually though. Viral in that PZ7 was never really a damage dealer in that strat, so you can't knock him for being on there. Then Greg was the first one focused out with that initial push. And you're going to have, when a team pushes, you are going to give up some HP or a tank. It's just making sure that you do the better trade.
Yeah.
And so Greg just was the unfortunate soul that got caught out in the 5A. The upper plate on it is not that strong, so it was the easier choice than going for the I7. And just in the position, just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, that'll happen. So, but when you see that, you know the defending team is actually following focus fire. You pick a target, everyone fires, gets the kill.
Yep.
And that's just good discipline. That's what you'll see at this level. Very rarely are you going to see people deliberately spreading fire.
Yep. There are a few cases which do call for it.
Like Batchat Swarm?
Yeah, very, very rarely. And this was not one of those cases that called for it. That was just F7 doing what they needed to do. Now we're going to head into battle number 3. Teal Team 6 going with a very, very unconventional lineup. A Mouse, 2 Batchats, 2 E3s, and 2 E4s. 2 Batchats is actually what F7 brought on the last match day, and they're going to bring it again while on offense. A 50B, a Mouse, 3 5As, and 2 Batchats of their own. So it's kind of a very disjointed lineup especially from Teal Team 6 and a little bit for F7. You know, you have some very heavy, slow, passive tanks which aren't going to be able to flex around a lot, and then 2 Batchats, which is the complete opposite. A lack of armor, but the flexibility. And so they have to make all that work on the same page, which is where I wonder if they'll struggle.
That's what I'm thinking about as well. Although my first thought, if I was taking the perspective of F7, and tell me what you think, is when I see this many tank destroyers, I know that there's relatively slow firing and actually very easy to overtake if you're willing to pay the toll. And so what you're going to do is, if I'm thinking about this from the perspective of F7, I'm thinking about how can I get close to one of these tank destroyers and just obliterate it, because that's all I need to do. I'm going to take a hit. There's that many TDs on the table. Just make it so when I take an engagement with them, I'm going to take one shell, get it real close, and get the kill.
There's a couple things you can do to counteract it. You can do one, what you just said, which is try to find one that's isolated that you can quickly get to. But the other thing is, you know, sometimes early on, if you do it just ever so delicately, you can kind of chip away at the defense a little bit. You can soften them up.
There's some spots on the hill. Get clicked on in Veils, looking for shots into Love Hitman.
But my point is if you can get the spots on those tanks and do it ever so carefully, if you can start chipping out damage like this, the Left Hitman took 2 shots right there. If you can slowly do that and give yourself enough of an HP lead, when you pay that initial toll that you talked about, when you're going to take that damage, you're then even on HP or slightly ahead instead of being down a deficit where you have to fight back from a negative position.
Precisely. Now, looking at the blue team attacking side, what are we going to see from F7, James? I'm currently trying to focus on the Love Hitman, but I see that you're watching everyone there on F7 as well.
Yeah, they're just chilling out in the south. They're just kind of spreading out, trying to figure out what Teal Team 6 is doing, try to get some intel, and try to find the damage. That's what a lot of these tanks are set up for. Chase Potato can spot across that 7 line there.
Ooh, nice.
Halo is.
See Spirit just got a spot all the way across onto Bananas. Did not expect that. That's.
And this is exactly what I was talking about that F7 need to do right now. They need to find a way to chip away at these tanks. So what they can do is say they can get another shot or 2 into the Love Hitman and maybe another one in Banana. That all of a sudden becomes the first tank that you're going to focus out when you make that push, so you can take that gun down that much sooner. Now, there are a couple things the defense can do in this case, which is rotate the tanks out, hide the HP, get them in the backfield, if they can. If they don't and it's exploited, then that's on them. But there are some countermeasures they can take to work against that just by rotating the HP around.
All right, looks like what we're about to get from F7, James, is a push up the middle. What do you think?
I would agree. It looks like they're going to go across the courtyard. They know that they have hill control, or had hill control. However, Zombie Food is in a position where he could very easily take it on that 0 line if they're not careful.
Soon. All right. Although Halo, look at where Halo is right now. He's just waiting all the way in the northwest.
He's trying to spot, maybe see if they rotate anything towards the hill. I don't think they realize that Zombie Food is over in that A0 pocket. So
now they do, because he just got on cap. As you said that, I'm sorry. He just decided to get on cap and let everyone know exactly where he is.
Yep. So what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to run a bait and switch here, get them moving towards that 2 cap. Now, as they do it, let's go ahead and listen to their comms and see exactly what they're thinking as they try to make this work.
I'm gonna scream at you.
You can poke out a little bit, okay, and you'll be fine. Like just have like if they like hug red line really hard.
Yeah, just poke on enough to see A5. Fuck.
Oh, he was
Okay.
there.
He was there.
Just leave then.
Yeah, I say we push south right now. Right now, we have the team. So,
Yeah, let's do it.
Well,
Looks like, what do you want me to do here?
you're coming with second out loader.
So
Halo
what
should go up the hill. Halo should go down the 8 and up the hill.
Veil, down,
Or-
south, dude. Come on, don't go north at all. Spot.
Just be careful, Halo, with that E3. It's still...
Yeah, I know.
It's an
That mouse
acrobat.
is pushing up.
Fuck, we're spotted.
You're fine, Halo.
I moved.
Get the mouse
send-
on
should we
here.
just-
That bat's running.
Yeah,
that
get the
bat's
mouse onto here in the
Get all the
window.
5As.
Let's go. Cross.
I'm
Spirit, there's a bad
spotted.
spot to be. You gotta be south. We went over there.
Clicked. I have more shots from here. Trust.
They have 2 bats, so I don't know if I can stay hill.
You can't. They're all.
Well,
Or no, you know you can't.
That's
No,
just
you can't.
bailing. He's bailing.
Yeah, they'll just
Shoot him.
move.
You're right.
Bat chat in the open. Bat chat in the open.
How far are we going, Click?
Track.
I hit him. Is he safe? Yeah, he's safe.
Yeah, he's safe.
I'm clipping.
50 come out. 50 batch, come out. We have enough control. Come out.
Yeah, I know. I'm leaving.
Like,
I'm not-
leave?
I'm not even spotted.
Yeah. Leave.
We
We
gotta go
have
back.
Match,
What do you want me in? What do you want to do, Click? Take hill?
Yeah, let's get the bats over hill and 50 B8 line. Go.
Yeah, Halo, I'll be reloaded in
Bases
20,
hold.
so we'll have enough time.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Get
can
5
go
minutes.
kill this mouse.
Yep.
That bat's gonna run.
Yep,
Unless those bats come to kill us.
E3, E4
Oh, right
fire.
there.
Mouse is there.
4 shot.
Yeah, E4 fire. Not this one over here, did.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I think I have shots at him.
So do I.
The mouse. Halo?
will
be Yeah. with
that mouse probably.
You guys can HU the side of the E4 if you can't pan it.
Yeah,
Just-
let's do it. Load HE.
You'll do quite a bit of damage to him. Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep my heat loaded. You just...
Halo, your shot's good or bad?
Eh.
You're doing
What about their
damage.
back sheds, Halo?
Yeah.
There he is.
There
I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna come to you.
Yeah.
Come to me, Halo. For Spirit.
Come
Yeah,
to
move
me,
here.
Halo.
Yeah. Just the one. The other guy's 600 hit points.
Okay.
He's gotta come to
Can you go?
How many
Thank,
rounds
could you
are we down?
leave? Thank.
How many
He's
rounds
running
are we
into you,
You want me
Echo.
to
many rounds
leave?
are
Yeah,
down?
leave. We'll push courtyard.
Just literally. Oh, there
We're
he
on the
is.
bat chat.
Halo, let's push. Let's go. Nice ram, Echo.
Vale, if this E3.
I need to. I can't push.
If
Where
this
do you
E3.
want me to go?
He's just clipping.
I have the
Just
badge.
take
Don't worry
courtyard.
about
Take
it.
courtyard.
Sure.
Right, take your
Echo,
mouse to courtyard.
up bait.
Yeah, I'm going.
I know.
Vale, if this
I have
E3 is
4,
not
Echo.
here, me and you are taking this guy.
I'm going on hill.
This, okay.
Taking
Go,
a
just
shot.
get ready for my call.
Yeah.
Because you
That's
got
just running.
340.
Didn't even light me. Oh, the mouse just fired at me. I'm gonna just take it up here.
E4 fired. Do I want to get to this other house, Click?
No, the other E3 can shoot.
This is gonna be a problem, Echo. We can't cross any farther.
Just go back and go through the hill.
Nova fired 2.
Don't have time.
Nova's down 2.
Can we start getting aggro here?
If we have to, I'll
Not
let
yet.
you know.
Not, need more distraction.
You have 3 minutes.
We need the mouse.
Yeah, the mouse says the W up 4 line.
Yep, up 4 line.
Echo, I'm
now.
gonna red line. I'm just gonna cross.
Okay.
Chase, maybe you should go take courtyard first. Yeah.
3 minutes on this. We have to do this fast.
Chase is spotted doing this.
They're not even doing it. They're not even
Nothing
watching.
8 line. Nothing 8 line. Mouse went
Oh,
5.
we need to bully that.
Go. You need to fix them. Go 2 cap.
Just
Oh,
kill
there's
that
a
bat now.
match.
Just red line and kill the bat. He's 2 shots.
Yeah, Halo, it's free kill.
Fuck, it's not a red line. I can't red line that.
Whoever's on. Do we not have the power on Hill to go kill that match yet?
I went low, remember? I went 8 line. I'm gonna cross.
Halo,
I'm gonna
do you want
cross.
HP to take him
I'll
out?
do it. I'll
No.
do it. I'll do it.
I
I'll
can
do it.
cross.
Creaming him if
Halo,
he pokes
I got
me.
it, Echo. I will cross.
Yeah,
Stop
I'll watch
talking,
the
Echo.
6 line.
Vale, don't bleed anymore. Don't bleed anymore. Just tuck in.
Yeah, no.
please.
I'm just gonna shoot
I'm
them.
getting on cap.
He
Fuck
bent me
this,
through my
I'm getting
gun.
on
3 fired. I'll kill the idiot up
I
top.
want to see if the other E3.
Alright, yeah, poke that Click.
Halo, you're peeking, right?
Is he there, Click?
No.
If not, run along the right side of this house and just go to the
If he
E4.
keeps going, I'll take
Echo,
it.
yeah. Yes, are you going, Spirit?
I thought you were peeking.
I am, but like,
They're pushing. They're pushing.
Yeah.
You guys cover me. Cover me.
Go.
I'm coming,
I
Echo.
mean, I'm a one shot.
I'll clip into the E4.
Did they both fire?
Where's the E?
Yeah, both. E3 fired. Love Hitman
Oh,
fired.
Spirit or Echo. Did both fire?
Vale, get the. Shoot you, miss. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm getting back in cap now.
Oh, these 3 fucking got me through the trash.
And F7 trying their hardest. A lot of teamwork coming out there, but so far they're down on HP. Guns are back to even right now as Spirit Walker does go down to Banana the Wall House. Knight does trade it out though.
And it's just a messy fight. We've got a 1v1 with Greg and Chase. It's dangerous right here. Chase is going to have to see if he can keep on the side of Greg, but that's tricky.
He's going to need a really high roll here, that 490 Alpha gun. He gets a high roll at 535, but not enough. Greg's going to take him down.
Same time, also, we lost a tank down in the southwest, so F7 left with 3 alive. Everything from Teal Team 6 is really beat up, but this is looking like it might go to Teal Team just on the factor of time and, well, just tanks alive. At the same time, this cap could resolve to something. Knight takes shell for 714. Greg and Emu all put shells into him. And now Viral is pinned out and alone. Halo shows up. Shots fired.
So far, Viral angling that armor well, not taking too much damage.
Oh,
he does pick up the kill onto Halo.
Halo got a little greedy right there. Overstayed his welcome just enough. And that should mean that this is going to go in favor of the defenders, Teal Team 6.
So overall, though, Teal Team 6 holding on with that defense. F7, same sort of philosophy that they ran the last match day. However, they tried to do it slightly different and altered. A little bit closer to the mark, I think, that time, but still just not enough to get through all those tank destroyers.
Yeah, it was certainly an alternate approach that we're not quite used to. I definitely haven't seen exactly that series of events before. It's certainly a little new in the tanks battle. Bat Chat going up to the hill on the defender's side late game was...
It
did not make a lot of sense. It was very, very strange for me.
It makes sense if you're thinking about the other team being a committed one-line push. If you think they're out there in the 3-line, if you can open up that hill and get those extra angles, I can justify the risk, but you know they showed exactly why it is a risk there, and I do have to give props to F7 for doing a good job at isolating that bat chat out and understanding all the routes he could get to, the teamwork there between the bat chats and zone cutting them off. So it was good coordination to get him out.
Yeah, as far as recovering, yeah, this replay right here, I think Zombie should have decided to go back up the hill instead of go back down in this case, just because of how he was caught. Yeah, as the attacker, if you're not totally committed, which is what our attackers F7 were. They weren't totally committed. They were committed. They had committed a few tanks to the southwest, but not all of them. And so running a bat chat into the back lines like that is just too risky, and we saw how it backfires.
Yep, and Greg, actually top damage dealer for Teal Team 6, coming in there with 3,500 damage, 3 kills. Not bad at all. We'll have Hitman and the other E3 also doing another 3K. So both their E3s putting up some pretty solid numbers. Chase Potato and Zone top damage dealers for F7. Vale also putting up respectable numbers. That drops off a good bit after there. Spirit Walker, their top fantasy point scorer in the league so far. Having a quiet night so far. He's really struggled to get involved in some of these games.
That'll happen. We'll see what happens when we move on to other maps, or maybe this side on Himmelsdorf. Well, or maybe he'll have more of a chance to just farm damage and points.
Yeah, well, I think part of it, when we go on to Sand River after this, maybe some more open, fluid, medium maps. He is a bat chat player after all, so yeah, something like that. Because it's been 2 kind of cagey maps. Well, you do bring a lot of bat chats on Mines, for example. It's a very small map, and it's kind of hard to get in there and be effective.
You're going to brawl a lot more often than you are going to skirmish against opponents.
Exactly, and so maybe on a map like Sand River, for example, where the maps are just a lot bigger and a lot more room to move around, maybe we'll see him rise and shine a little bit there.
Perhaps. As we are getting ready for our final battle here on Himmelsdorf, score currently at 2 in favor.
We did have Teal Team 6 call a timeout, actually. So
we did?
That is over, and we are in the countdown for the game, but that was just extra delay there for a minute, figuring out what they want to do on their offense now, and Danger Close. I just did that again. That's twice.
You did that. You're calling them Danger Close. This is their old name. They're now F7, so
F7,
rebrand.
F7. I don't know why I'm doing that.
It's okay.
Anyways, so I digress. They are back. And we'll have to see what they do on defense. Maybe bring some mice and some E3s, which is what they're going to do. Coming in here with 113, a 50B, 2 mice, a 5A, bat chat, and an E3. Still opting for the bat chat. Meanwhile, Teal Team 6, who have to attack now. 2 113s, 2 50Bs, a mouse, 5A, and a bat chat.
Fair enough on the lineups. Nothing too crazy as far as I'm concerned. So I agree with most of these picks. Although that 5A frenzy we saw the first few days seems to kind of be falling back. You're seeing more 113s than you are 5As in the past few days.
They have different strong points. The 113s have overall higher DPM. The Alpha, though, goes to the 5A. Slightly lower DPM. It's just slightly. Not enough that it's a super deterrent, but maybe in these sort of brawls, they want the extra speed and the DPM out of the 113.
There's a conversation we used to have a long time ago when it came to DPM versus fire rate and all of that, or DPM versus Alpha and all of this. One of the most important things that we talked about was second shot. Not just the first shell you fired, but just reload time and how much damage there is between your first, second shell, and not counting the third shell. Because you want to have an engagement where you fire once, maybe twice, and then you disengage and deal with something new, right? Count on maybe 2 shells. And if your first 2 shells, damage-wise, are more efficient than your opponent's, if you've got enough tanks in position, you're gonna come out ahead, right?
Right.
As long as you can get that first gun off the battlefield in the first or second volley.
Now, the other thing I want to talk about real quick is Teal Team 6. A Mouse, 2 113s, a 5A, 2 50Bs, and a Batchat. That kind of strikes me as a almost very light lineup for Himmelsdorf. Maybe it's just the recent Mouse meta and Type 5 kind of has it blurred, but I feel like they're a little bit too soft to really crack a defense.
Maybe. But as far as kind of brawling potency, if I put it that way, or just the ability to take a fight.
That's my point, though, is that the durability once that fight starts is what I worry about. Those 250Bs are very soft. Now, they do have good clip potential, so they can knock tanks down early. They can make it work. And then the 113s to clean up, but 50Bs are soft. 113s and 5As are also pretty soft at the end of the day. The upper front plate on that 5A is extremely thin. The 113s is a little bit better, but when you have a mouse shooting at you that shoots down into your upper front plate, it's not really going to matter how thick it is.
Exactly. Now look at the hill. Bananas, zombie food, all up top. Zombie looking for possibly a target down that D line. He's going to wait for Viral to become unspotted once more. He is. Viral will probably move forward once more, spot a little bit, and once that happens, zombie food can peek up and over and just snipe out. Although looking at that, I just saw zombie food. A shell just went over his head there. A little blind fire towards the hill, showing us that F7 suspects that the hill aggression is a possibility and may be doing things to avoid that. Knight, however, is exposed.
Yeah, he's just sitting, he's holding down off some cover right now, and he'll have clean shots down the A line and should be able to spot it as well. If you notice, he has coated optics on his E3. So he'll be able to see a tank like Viral right there in the mouse that doesn't get spotted.
Knight is spotted. Zombie food is going to start looking to see if he can get a shot onto him.
So it looks like Viral's going to take time to start side scraping this corner, maybe try to trade with the E3, see if he can get a lucky bounce and make that E3 back off so the rest of the team can cross safely. What he doesn't know is look at the rest of Teal Team 6 right now, rotating up towards the hill.
Yes. There they are. Just climbing the hill. Taking the long way. This is not as common anymore simply because you very often find yourselves all stuck into the same little hole, little corner to hide behind and not able to support or create crossfires. And Teal Team 6 may regret this further down the line if they can't assume the right positions. If they can, if they spread out, create the crossfires, this can work.
They are committing to this zero line, something we have not seen out of many teams in NA recently at all, or since the mouse meta. Zero line meta, getting up into A0 and playing this top corner of the cap has become a lot less common. Teams have shifted a lot more towards the 1-2 line and also stuck towards the south end of this 2 cap. So it's kind of interesting to see them willing to just take the cross, and they did that without paying any toll at all.
Good. That's the element of surprise for you. Doing something a little bit unexpected. It looks like, is this going to be crossing through the cap? It looks like,
they're going to push, and they're going to try to get an aggressive position up against the Cubbies because the guns aren't there to punish it. Another bounce, nice angling there from Greg, swerving at the last second. Gets the bounce off that front plate, and now Knight should have a shot on the Viral on the 8 line, gets a nice penetrating shot for 788. So he'll start creeping in there, and they'll start fighting along his A-line, but what they don't know is that there is a Batchat in the south. Spirit Walker does get spotted, but he spots Supernova as well, so they should be able to have a one-on-one down there, and whoever's going to win that's going to open up that south end of the map.
Yep. Meanwhile, Brawl settles in. Greg Emus taking a southernly exposed position while they're going to try and square off against Get Clicked, Halo, and Chase Potato. Nice shot right there and to get clicked. Emu's also connecting into Halo. So Teal Team 6 putting a little bit of a fight up. But right now, the control of the situation is a little bit weak from Teal Team 6. They do have like one tank on cap, but F7 is being given the time to come up with a reaction, a strategy, and it does not look like Teal Team 6
Viral is actually not in position to spot this 5-line push. These tanks on the 5-line could get caught out here for Teal Team 6.
They will be.
Nova's not in position to spot it yet.
Nova spots Spirit, and Spirit spots him back. They know that they will be spotted, so Knight and Vale understand exactly what they need to do, which is not hesitate, move out in the open.
Let's see how good the focus fire is. The E3 is going to come around, line up a shot. He takes 1 shot of damage. And now I'd expect to see the tanks in the north. 4F7 get a little bit more aggressive. Gets the shot through the drive wheel there. Knight trying to angle his armor, should get another shot off, bounces. And now
there's that forward you were talking about.
Yep, they have the focus fire on that 5A. They're pushing in. They know they have this overmatch. First tank does go down for Teal Team 6, but F7 are paying a pretty heavy toll from those 50 Bs. Halo is caught out right now. Greg should also go down as Halo goes down for F7. The 113 getting behind that E3, but Zone ends up picking it up. Now the E3 and Chase Potato are together, and this is going back and forth. Get clicked on, trying to take the one-on-one right now with the Love Hitman. HP is basically dead even.
And there, Love gets 1 more shell. That's all he needs, and he should be able to get clicked on momentarily. He will be loaded, and that's going to be a kill that he really needs. All right, Love can turn around. He's got a hold down position, and he's going to be the difference between victory and defeat here for Teal Team 6 on cap because of his crossfire. Without this Teal Team 6 probably wouldn't be able to hold at all.
And Knight does get 1 more shot off, and good simping there out of Vale. Coming up big there, trying to block Viral, but the Love Hitman's going to finally pick up the kill. They did what they could. Focus fire going back and forth, but now F7 are down on guns. They're trying to stay in this, but Supernova gets the pick on Chase Potato from all the way down south in the courtyard. Zone not able to do enough to stop him, and now it is a 3v4. HP is still relatively close.
Nice kill. Viral focusing, getting the last hit on the mouse. Spirit is out of shells and just running away, and anyone can pick him up. There we go.
And now it's all down to Zoned, and against all of our predictions, Teal Team 6 are now going to pull ahead 3-1.
There we go, 377. Trying to escape. Doesn't look like he's anyone too close. Sneaky moves from Zone. He's going to take a right, head down an alleyway. He's still lit, so they know where he is. Go Zone. Let's see how far you can get.
He's actually going to beat them across the B line right now. Finally unspotted, so they have an idea he's here, but this would truly be a miracle if he pulled this out. Now, keep in mind, there are 3 one-shot tanks, and one of the tanks left alive is Viral and a Mouse, so he does have the flexibility if he can get up on this line, but Viral's going to come around, and he's going to hesitate, not go up, and he may get caught out right now as the cap pressure does get built up. Viral's going to start side-scraping this. He's going to spot Zoned here. He should line up the shot and take him down. He actually bounces!
What?
But he has to close. He has to find a reset, and with 15 seconds left, I don't see it being an option. And Supernova is going to come in here for the kill on the side, pull forward. Nice shot there. Good stuff from Supernova, taking down Zone, and this is going to extend the lead 3-1.
So, your prediction earlier.
Well, I'm already wrong, regardless of who wins.
So, what can we say about that prediction and what we missed? So, because I wasn't feeling as confident in Teal Team 6. You heard that before. I said this could go even. I could go either way. But I really didn't have anything to back up that statement. You, on the other hand, there was a reason you were thinking F7 was better.
They just seemed a bit more together on their opening match days. Now, provided Teal Team 6 did start off with Elevate their first match, so that's never going to be an easy fight. However, F7, they seem to be a little bit more composed, on the same page as far as strats goes, where Teal Team 6 still felt like they were trying to figure things out. However, they've made a lot of improvements. Very decisive stuff. I like this opening play out of them. They take control of this North Cap.
Yeah, this is an older strat, isn't it, Rox? This is something we didn't see. We haven't seen as much recently. It was kind of older meta almost.
Yeah, well, 754 meta back in the days, a long time ago. A lot of IS3s and 110s, shoving the 110 into that A5 pocket there, stuff like that. You know, doing their homework. And keep in mind, some of these players were playing back when that was still a thing. I don't think F7 has anyone from that day, but when you have players like Banana the Wallhost and Zombie Food, they've been around for quite a while.
And I'm glad we see those old strats, because it's not like they're irrelevant or that they're worthless now. They certainly are useful, and we just saw the example right there of a team utilizing an older strategy that just because it's kind of fallen out of practice, out of popularity, that it was effective here. Catch your opponent off guard with something that they're not quite expecting.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. I like what I saw at Teal Team 6. I like the aggression. I felt like F7's response was a little bit slow for what they saw. A little bit hesitation. I felt if they'd taken better 5-line control, maybe not committed, but taken control of the south and really just controlled the 5-line instead of pushing into it.
Yeah.
If they had cleared that bat chat out, you know, because they had Spirit Walker down there. So if they had kind of opened up that south end of the map, they really could have sat there and led the tanks from Teal Team 6 instead of going for the all-in and the brawl.
Yeah, but with that whole approach that we saw from Teal Team 6, I think that it worked well enough to keep damage off of their tanks. They didn't pay too much of a toll, and then they just worked out. But now, on to Sand River.
Yeah, Teal Team 6, a 5A, 3 bat jets, 2 Object 140s, and a T100. Meanwhile, the side of F7 bringing a 113, 2 5As, 4 bat chats, and an STRV. Actually, it's 3 bat chats, excuse me, and a bat chat. So a very split lineup. 3 heavy tanks, 3 medium tanks, and a tank destroyer, where Teal Team 6 have opted for a T100. So we saw Viral play this T100 on this map versus Elevate, when once again refer to that. And he actually got caught out doing this opening run because of just opening positions. And it snowballed very quickly for Teal Team 6. And we'll have to see what they've changed since then and if they have a different take on how they want this to work.
Yep. Now, look at this. Only spotting on the side of our defenders, F7, has been Viral. And I believe that was Bananas down in the middle there. And we'll have to see... Oh, Bananas spotted again. So as far as F7 is concerned, it looks kind of like mid-play with a little bit of north presence. So they're going to probably focus on defending the 2 cap.
Yeah,
Teal Team 6,
bleeding a lot of HP in that STRV.
Yeah, that is not good. He has also damaged his optics. It's not so good. Not ideal. Probably back off.
And Banana the Wallhouse and Supernova getting more aggro on that south end, and Chase Potato doesn't really have too much support right now. So he needs to be careful not to get isolated.
You should be safe. I think there's enough intel right now if you're Teal Team 6 to know that this is a classic north play, and that the only tank that could be around in the south is going to be relatively harmless. He can't risk going farther south, or else he'll get picked off himself by Emus, Bananas, and whatever else decides to show up. So Bananas is going to back off his mid position. At the same time, it looks like Emus is going to move up and take over. While the way that we're seeing motion from Teal Team 6 says this is slowly going to aggress. While F7, what are you doing? Stop this. No, not this way.
They're rotating out, and they actually catch Supernova out in the open field.
Yeah, and look at this. Like right now, they've just given up all their crossfires. They're covering. Everyone retreated all at once, and
they got caught in transition between the T100 and Greg moving up in this 5A. And now F7 are in a really awkward spot, and they could start to bleed a lot more HP if they're not careful.
Yeah, a lot of tanks are distracted. Veil, Spirit Walker, Chase, and Knight are all in one direction. While you've got Get Clicked On stuck in the open. This sucks to be him. And he just lost his driver. So, what you gonna do? You gonna die. He's dead.
40's picking up the kill.
Yep.
Teal Team 6 with a strong opening play here on Sand River. And now the rest of F7 are trying to flex around in the south. The 5As and the 113 moving across there, or the 5As at this point. And the Batchat's clearing out on the south. But the problem is that they're all spotted, and Teal Team 6 are doing a great job at grouping up their tanks in the north and now taking the overmatch up there that they understand they have.
Yeah, now Zombie's all the way in the north. He's got support on the way. This is looking really great for Teal Team 6. Zombie can then focus on Halo. Halo is not expecting Zombie Food to be there. He's taken 2 shots, so Zombie has a huge advantage in this fight so far. He's going to actually keep that aggression up. Yes, he takes a shell too. All right, lost advantage from Zombie. He's going to disengage. Nicely played. See, that's how we do it. He understands, okay, I've got a little greedy, but maybe we can salvage this. He's going to jump on cap, I expect. There we go. Good Zombie. Bananas is taking over for him, so I'm not concerned. Although, where is Emus taking all this damage? He's in the mid being overmatched.
Batchats are just going to push in. Very decisive there out of F7, trying to throw the Hail Mary right now to get back into it. They've evened it up on gun. They're still down by a sizable amount on HP. And 13 seconds on the cap. They need to try to find a reset here soon.
and that might not be possible. Spirit is trying to get into position. Same with Knight, but it's going to be difficult. One shell from Greg.
Have the lights, but no shots. No one's able to get the reset, and that should be it. That should be Teal Team 6 making this 4-1.
There we go. There's the timer up top. Post-game coming in, and that'll mean a victory. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Decisive stuff, and F7 getting their pants pulled down. I mean, that's really what that looked like. That was, we're going to try to make a cheeky rotation right now. We're going to try to get out down in the south, you know, change it up. And I'll give F7 credit for doing what I was talking about, where you're not staying on that same stagnant passive defense the whole game. They said, this is our opening, sure, we'll get spotted, and then when we're not spotted, we're going to try to, you know, move some tanks out and reappear in different spots. It's good in theory, but it's very difficult to do in practice because what can happen is what just happened, where they were spotted the whole time they were doing it, and Teal Team 6 were just like, oh, okay, well, we'll just take that. That's just ours now. You know?
Thanks, guys. This is pretty sweet.
Just hand it to me. Just put it in a fruit basket, why don't you?
Get clicked on was literally just
and on top
that was it, man. The way that they moved is the important thing to pay attention to. The fact that everyone on the entirety of the team decided to move all at once and retreat, that was the mistake, and that's where the entire door was left open. You can see the damage farming done by Emus, who was chilling out in the middle. Same with Zombie as well. Both of them took a turn just sitting there shooting at stuff.
Yeah, fantasy points rather low in this fight just because it was a cap out. Now, you know, at that point, you know, the second they were all spotted, and it's not even... Losing the 113 was icing on the cake for Teal Team 6, getting that extra pick. If they had just been given the positions, even if Get Clicked On had left, when they spotted, because they spotted it when they did, that pretty much put the nail in the coffin right then. Getting the extra 113, you're always going to take an extra kill when you can.
Yeah.
But in this case, it didn't matter. They were already lost at that point, the second he was caught out of position.
Yeah.
So just overall, good stuff there from Teal Team 6. A great read, understanding what they wanted to do when they saw the situation. They saw a softball, and they slammed it out of the park. I mean, that's the easiest way to say it.
Yeah. All right, we're getting ready to get back into battle one more time. Here is your tank lineup. We've got 2 5As, 3 Batchets, 2 Object 140s for the side of Teal Team 6. And on the side of F7, we've got a Kronwagen, 2 5As, and 4 Batchets.
Yep, now F7 are going to have to get a win right now to try to even have a chance at forcing this to overtime. What was the map after this?
The map for OT?
Yeah, no, just the 4th map. This is only map 3.
Ruin Brick.
Ruin Brick. So, and that's going to be a difficult challenge in itself, being a 1-on-1 map. So even if they can win this one right now, they're not out of the woods.
Yeah, I don't think F7 or anyone really expected the matches to go quite this decidedly towards Teal Team 6.
I can say that anyone that stacked Teal Team 6 on their fantasy team should be having a pretty good night, especially Zombie Foods has put up some very impressive numbers.
Did you?
I did not.
Did you stack F7?
I didn't stack F7 either, though. I only had 1 player. And Spirit is their top fantasy point scorer this week, so trying to give credit, and I doubt I'll pick him again for a little while after the performance he has had tonight.
Aw.
Maybe not his fault, but so far,
sometimes superstars can't shine without strong support. Oh, nice shot right there. Who got tracked? That's from Bananas and Supernova. They're already up there. Wow, Bananas.
And these Batchets look like they're going to get caught out in the north.
It's opening engagement.
Or F7.
2v2, but one of them's consistent fire against 2 autoloaders.
Who are missing shots right now.
Just zoned, and it was just the one. Don't be too harsh yet. Just 1 shell. Just
but you need all 5 to count to win in these 1-on-1s.
I mean, just messing with you. It's okay. It's just a bad shot. They miss all sorts of shells. They miss all the time.
At this range, though, and being a low probability shot, I don't know that that's one that you really want to take. But I digress. It looks like F7 are getting very aggressive in the south as well right now.
Little flank around on the south. That's usually effective, and at the same time bring the Kronwagen over, so he's the hold down. Everyone who's peeking out to look for Halo takes shells from Spirit Walker in the Kronwagen. It's a nice play. In theory, doesn't look like Teal Team 6 is going to totally fall for it, but that doesn't mean the maneuver can't work itself out.
The Batchets are going to leave the base, and now the 140s are free, and these tanks in the middle ridge need to figure out what they're going to do, because they could all of a sudden be the ones being overmatched if they're not too careful.
Very, very true. Although look at this. Those tanks from F7 that pulled out of the northwest have, well, Supernova and Bananas just discovered that they're gone, so they're pulling back. And we're going to have to see Teal Team 6 just get control back for a few of their positions. Once they do that, things are okay. But I see Vale going after Zombie Food. And he's going to start putting fire onto him.
And Greg's in a position to flank these heavy tanks who are isolated right now, and he's going to start trying to snap off shots. Misses the first one. gets the second one onto the Kronwagen, and now the 5As are going to come around on the low side. They have this Kronwagen's turret split every which direction, and this is going terribly for F7 right now.
Yep. Looks like, oh, amazing. So bounces on Bananas. The wall hose are going to keep him alive off in that northwest section of the map. Nicely done. Okay, this is actually looking much better for Teal Team than it could have been. Got pretty messy there for a second.
Vale's actually going to start taking some damage over on the other side of the map. He's going to go down to zombie food.
Clicked is hiding. Knight is out in the open with zoned. They're going to actually go chase after that north section, see if they can take down Supernova and Bananas.
So it looks like they're going to go for Chase Potato first, as the isolation is going to come out here. That's going to finish him off. And now it's just down to these 3 Batchats for F7, who only have about 2,000 HP left between them.
Yep, Zone takes the first shell. Knight the second. Supernova knows he can get the kill. Does on to Knight. As Zoned moves on to Bananas. Get clicked has been spotted. Oh, a low roll. And a second shell is not a connection. There's the kill. Zone did not get what he wanted there.
And that is going to be Teal Team 6 picking up the 5-1 victory over F7, something that none of us saw coming to begin with.
Yeah.
However, they showed up to play. F7 did not. Teal Team 6 had changed some of their strats from before, made some improvements, stuff that I was a big fan of. I liked the adaptations they made there. Capitalized on all the mistakes that F7 threw up, and just overall, great stuff from Teal Team 6.
Yeah, very impressive. I think that's what defines this entire match is those little openings, those tiny mistakes, those tiny points in a transition where F7 didn't do enough to protect themselves. And when they didn't do that, I think that's it entirely. Every single time, Teal Team 6 saw a weakness, and when they went for it, they won. There were times that it wasn't the case. It was a little more classic as a fight kind of maneuvering, but examples like at the beginning of the series when we saw a bold push out of F7. That was a nice, strong first win, but everything after that.
So what I have to say about F7 was the theories that they went for, the ideas, the philosophies were there. The execution was not. Stuff like the Himmelsdorf games, for example. Those are things, or the first Sand River game. They're strats that will work if you are very, very delicate with them. Getting caught out like that, you know, that's just going to make it just go wrong. You have to kind of do it in phases. You have to do it very deliberately and very, you know, be very coordinated when you do it, and it just wasn't there for F7 tonight.
Yep, and now let's look at the post-battle stats. In this last one, we saw Greg, Supernova, Zombie Food, and Bananas all putting up solid numbers. We get, and then down at the bottom, yep, second page, Love Hitman and his 5A didn't get much done, poor guy.
Yeah,
but otherwise, that was a strong match for Teal Team 6.
Yeah, overall, it was fairly decisive stuff. Looking at the match, Zombie Food putting up an impressive 346 fantasy points, 1,400 damage.
Nicely done.
The Love Hitman and Supernova all coming in strong. Vale only coming in with 256. For F7 on the second page, Spirit Walker barely hitting 200. Chase Potato, Halo get clicked on, not putting up anything comparable either. Viral putting up 204. So overall, you know, I don't think the damage and fantasy points really reflect that game, just because there was so many smart things that Teal Team 6 did that they really capitalized on, like the fast cap there. That was just a great individual play that's not going to translate to a lot of fantasy points. Yeah,
indeed. And actually, I'm being told that we have an interview ready with Teal Team 6. Sir, welcome back to the broadcast. We have a few questions, if we can, for the captain of Teal Team 6. Greg.
There you are, Greg.
How's it going?
Sir. So, I think we both are aware of where everyone stood before the match, but things have changed a little, Greg.
You think?
Yeah,
I mean, all three of you said that we were going to get crushed.
Yeah.
Let's see, it was a 5-1, and we kind of pulled that off.
Yeah. Well, what's going on, Greg? How are you doing these things? What are you doing? You got to tell me your secret.
we're putting in the time, we're putting in the effort, and we're putting up the points.
Yeah, and
that's all there is to it, I guess.
Yeah, and so you might have heard
you can probably hear our comms are absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely, dude. So I want to ask about every battle after the first one. All right, Greg? To me, it looked like you guys saw an opening or a weakness or a mistake that F7 made, and you jumped on it. just about every time it was something along those lines, or you just went for something. I don't know how much you knew going into all of your maneuvers. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I mean, that's basically what's happening. Our first match ended up really rough. The only reason we had a patent was because Bloop ended up DCing during the tank picking, so we had that issue. But after that, there were these mistakes and holes that F7 kept putting up, and we recognized them and we dominated them.
That makes a lot more sense. We were sitting here just like trying to figure out the mystery of the patent, but now all of a sudden knowing that there isn't a mystery and it was just a mistake makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, the one other question.
Just kidding. That's not true at all. That's actually our Trump strat. We just didn't get to show it off. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll keep that in store for next time. Now, the one last question I did have for you was start of the game. You said that you were all business, no memes. Is this part of the new Teal Team 6, or are you guys going to go back to your memeing ways?
Oh no, I can meme as much as you want. I just didn't want to meme tonight. I mean, tonight was an important battle. Realistically, there's two brand new teams. Us and F7 are both brand new teams. We need to beat them, and we need to beat out another team if we want to have no worries about relegation. Obviously, we don't want to get relegated, so we're going to put up our fight, and we're going to make the most of this. We need the points, and we got the points. So let's see how the rest of the season pans out for us.
All right. Thank you very much, Greg. Any final thoughts for your fans or sponsors or anything else like that out there?
I want to give a shout out to USL. They're working pretty hard there. The unofficial Silver League, they're doing their best to recapture the Silver League that's been lost over the past few seasons. And if you're interested in doing league, try them out, talk to them. There's a bunch of good guys. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Thanks,
all right. Thank you very much for joining us, Greg.
All right.
Have a good night.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for the first match. Any other things that